Hello and welcome. We are back yet again, and I'm really excited to be here because we're going to be looking at the JavaScript algorithms and data structures. I'm really excited about this. I remember having gone through this like probably 2-3 years ago, but yeah, we can just go through it again, refresh ourselves, make sure that we're ready. I'm really excited. So we're going to be having a look at basic JavaScript. Comment your JavaScript code. Comments are lines of code that JavaScript will intentionally ignore. Comments are a great way to learn notes to yourself and to other people, to leave notes to yourself and other people who will later need to figure out what that code does. Though what we've recently discovered as well is that properly written code won't need any kinds of comments, because the code will in itself be a comment that should clearly indicate what is going on. But sometimes it might be necessary to leave a comment, in which case this is how we do it. And 2 forward slashes will be an inline comment. And a multi-line comment, kind of the same as what you would do for CSS. As you write code, you should regularly add comments to clarify the function of parts of your code. Good commenting can help communicate the intent of your code, both for others and for your future self. Hello, future me. Try creating one of each type of comment. Hello, comment. How exciting. There we go. Hey! Basic JavaScript. Declare JavaScript variables. In computer science, data is anything that is meaningful to the computer. JavaScript provides 7 different data types, which are undefined, null, boolean, string, symbol, number, and object. For example, computers distinguish between numbers such as the number 12 and strings such as 12 or dog or 123 cats, which are collections of characters. Computers can perform mathematical operations on a number but not on a string. Variables allow computers to store and manipulate data in a dynamic fashion. They do this by using a label to point to the data rather than using the data itself. Any of the 7 data types may be stored in a variable. Variables are similar to the x and y variables you use in mathematics, which means they are a simple name to represent the data we want to refer to. Computer variables differ from mathematical variables in that they can store different values at different times. We tell JavaScript to create or declare a variable by putting the keyword var in front of it, like so. Var ourName creates a variable called ourName. In JavaScript we end statements with semicolons. Variables names can be made up of numbers, letters, and the dollar symbol or underscore, but may not contain spaces or start with a number. Use the var keyword to create a variable called myName. Gladly. There we go. Easy does it. I'm gonna get destroyed, I just know it later on in the tests. Storing values with the assignment operator. In JavaScript you can store a value in a variable with the assignment operator, as in my variable equal to 5. This assigns the number value 5 to my variable. Assignment always goes from right to left. Everything to the right of the operator is resolved before the value is assigned to the variable to the left of the operator. This assigns 5 to my var and then resolves my var to 5 again and assigns it to my num. Interesting. Assign the value 7 to variable A. Okay, easy enough. Assign the contents of A to variable B, so var B equal to A. Initializing variables with the assignment operator. It is common to initialize a variable to an initial value in the same line as it is declared. Var myvar equal to 0 creates a new variable called myvar and assigns it an initial value of 0. Define a variable a with var and initialize it to a value of 9. So var a 9. Understanding uninitialized variables. When JavaScript variables are declared, they have an initial value of undefined. That's always going to catch you, because if you don't specify a value, you're just going to get undefined. If you do a mathematical operation on an undefined variable, your result will be NaN, which means not a number. If you concatenate a string with an undefined variable, you will get a literal string of undefined. So if it's a number, it will be NaN, not a number. If you're doing a mathematical or equations, else if you're doing strings, undefined. Interesting. I wonder what a boolean would result in. We could test that in our console right here. We can do var a undefined. Console.log a undefined. Do we have b? B is not defined, cool. And then if we do a console.log a minus 1, we get NaN, not a number. Cool. Okay, that's enough testing. So we've done that. Initialize the three variables a, b, and c with 5, 10, and I am a respectively, so that they will not be undefined. So a needs to be 5, b needs to be 10, c needs to be I am a. There we go. Understanding case sensitivity in variables. In JavaScript, all variables and function names are case sensitive, which trips me up, including the if. I'm so used to capitalizing the I now in another language that I use. So when I do that, it creates a major issue, because obviously the if has to be lowercase. Else it actually thinks you're calling a function. You can literally call a function if, from what I remember, like capitalize I. And fully capitalized if would also be different, which is crazy. This means that capitalization matters. My var, all caps, is not the same as my var title case versus my var lowercase. It is possible to have multiple distinct variables with the same name but different casing. It is strongly recommended that for the sake of clarity, you do not use this language feature. I fully agree. Because imagine you just mess that up somewhere. Best practice. Write variable names in JavaScript in camel case. I love camel case. Even if another language does not use it, I will still use camel case. It just looks so good to me. In camel case, multi-word variables names that have the first word in lowercase and the first letter of each subsequent word is capitalized. Example, some variable, another variable. Modify the existing declarations and assignments so their names use camel case. Do not create any new variables. Stud. What was this? Stud? Studly cap var. Proper camel case? That's correct. Title case over. Title case over 9,000! Oh, that's brilliant. Add two numbers with JavaScript. Number is a data type in JavaScript which represents numeric data. Now let's try to add two numbers using JavaScript. Oh. What are we going to actually be able to manage here? So JavaScript uses the plus symbol as an addition operation when placed between two numbers. As we knew before, but it's always exciting to know this. Can never go wrong at all. So my var 5 plus 10 assigned as 15. Change the 0 so that sum will equal to 20. Let's go ahead and do that. So 10 plus 10 should give us 20. Easy maths, guys. And imagine I just failed there. How funny would that be? Okay, so that's good. We can also subtract one number from another. Change the 0 so the difference is 12. Okay, now I really have to do maths. You want me to... so it has to end up 12. So that should be 45 minus 33. That should give us 12. There we go. Quick maths. Multiply two numbers with JavaScript. Change the 0 so that the product will equal to 80. So 8 times 10 should give us 80. Wonderful. Divide one number by another with JavaScript. I remember you can also do modulo. I can't wait to learn that. But we could just do simple division now. Change the 0 so that the quotient is equal to 2. No, I actually have to do maths. Wait, so that the remainder should be 2. I'm struggling, my brain. What am I trying to think? This is not modular, so that the remainder is not 2. Oh, it's divided by whatever amount. Okay, I don't know why I was struggling with that. Okay, so I should be able to... Is it going to be a test case? Because we're literally just going to... Wait, do you want to buy 33 or do you want to buy 2? I'm confused now. As to equal to. Okay, that's why I was confused. Okay, so if you divide it by 33, you'll get 2. I was going to divide it by 2, but then you get 33. Yikes. Okay. Increment a number with JavaScript. You can easily increment or add 1 to a variable with the ++ operator. I++ is the equivalent of I equal to I plus 1. The entire line becomes I++, eliminating the need for the equals sign. So we are incrementing. Change the code to use the ++ operator on myvar. So myvar, we can literally just go myvar ++. So much easier. If you're just incrementing by 1, of course, like you would in loops and whatnot. I'm surprised they haven't told us the order in which you do it, because you can also do ++ myvar, which will happen before, as opposed to after. But I'm sure there's a reason why we're doing it in this order, so let's go ahead and do that. Amazing. Man, I can't wait to get deep into this. Decrement a number with JavaScript. It's going to be exactly the same as the previous one. We are literally just going to go myvar minus minus. Awesome. Now we can create decimal numbers with JavaScript. We can store decimal numbers in variables too. Decimal numbers are sometimes referred to as floating point numbers, or simply floats. Not all real numbers can accurately be represented in floating point, because obviously they lose precision, especially with higher numbers. I mean, you can store far greater numbers, but you can obviously lose precisions in like the ones and tens and hundreds when we're talking about like billions, trillions of numbers. This can lead to rounding errors. Create a variable myDecimal and give it a decimal value with a fractional part. So we're going to define my decimal, and we can do a lucky number 5. How about a 5.5? Is that good? Run the tests. Give it to us. Brilliant. Basic JavaScript. Oh! This was the other thing that I realized in JavaScript, by the way. This was fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. If you set let's say var a equal to 0.1 plus 0.2, right? And then you console.log a, you get 0.30004, and from what I remember, when you do a test case to check true or false, it ends up not being true, because if you check is 0.1 plus 0.2 0.3, you would think it logically is, but because of the way numbers work, especially also in JavaScript and the floating numbers, it will not actually be true, because it won't be exactly 0.3. It's actually 0.3, many zeros later, and a 4 at the end. So it actually ends up becoming false. You can do this by checking if a, which is 0.3, should be 0.1 plus 0.2, equal to 0.3, then we can say console.log. How do I write the if statements again? I think they're like this. Opening and closing brackets, if I'm not mistaken. Console.log, and we're going to say true, right? So if a equal to 0.3, we're going to log as true, else false. Console.log close. I just want to verify the format of the if-else. So it's if, open up the bracket, close the bracket over here, my bad, then the else opens up here, then we have the additional part there. Cool. So that's... So you see it says false, where you would think it's true, because if a equal to 0.3, which it should be, 0.1 plus 0.2 technically is 0.3. And this is why so many people get, I guess, like confused. Like imagine for precision parts, you can't really like use it. You would rely on it and be like 0.1 and 0.2 should be 0.3, but JavaScript's like, nope, false, you are wrong. I wonder if you can actually say the full amount. Is it equal to 0.3, whatever that is? True! So if you check it that way, and then I wonder what happens if you do the 3 equals. Oops, where'd it go? 0.3. Still false. Okay. Well, we did our own little test. That was a fun one. That always trips people up. What do we have to do now? Change the 0 so that the product will equal to 5. So 2 floats times 3 floats should be 5 floats. What? I failed? Huh? Oh, that's 6. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing maths at this time. Divide one decimal by another with JavaScript. Change the 0.0 so that the quotient will equal to 2.2. Something divided by 2. Can I fix the entire line? So divided by 2. 4.4 divided by 2 is 2.2. There we go. Basic JavaScript. Finding a remainder. This is my favorite one. The modulo, right? or the remainder. I always get confused. They call it remainder here, but also it's modular. Or is that just the formula and the remainder is the amount that's remaining? Anyway, gives the remainder of the division of two numbers. I love that one. So if you did like 10, 2, the remainder would be 0, because 2 can go into 10 5 times with 0 left over. If it was 11, 2, the remainder should be 1. Before I even do this example, I just want to make sure that I am right. Var a equal to 11, 2, and then console.log a should give us 1. Yep. Cool, I remembered correctly. In mathematics, a number can be checked to be even or odd by checking the remainder of the division of the number by 2. So it's odd, else it's even. The remainder operator is sometimes incorrectly referred to as the modulus. Oh! Why am I referring to it incorrectly? It is very similar to modulus, but does not work properly with negative numbers. What, modulus doesn't work correctly or remainder doesn't work correctly? I'm assuming that they say remainder doesn't work correctly, because modulus does. So then why do I get confused between modulus versus remainder? What's the difference? Modular operation finds the remainder after division of one number by another, sometimes called modulus. Given two positive numbers, a, the dividend, and n, the divisor, a modular, abbreviated as mod, is the remainder of the Euclidean division of a by n. Okay. Let's go to Stack Overflow. There is a difference between modulus and remainder. For example, minus 21 mod 4 is 3, because minus negative 21 plus 4 times 6 is 3, but negative 21 divided by 4 gives negative 5 with the remainder of negative 1. So for positive values there's no difference. For negatives you want to use modular. Okay. Interesting. Okay, hey Christopher, so you can just write console.log 0.3 equal to 0.3 instead your if-else construct. You can? Without a if-else? What? Really? Does that work? Is it gonna say false? True. Is it because I'm giving one value to another, so it's doing a comparison, and it's simply outputting the comparison? This should be false then, or b is not defined. Oh, we already said a to 1. Like what? Ah, that's cool. I had no idea, thanks. That's cool. Set remainder equal to the remainder of 11 divided by 3 using the remainder operator. Set remainder (11) remainder 3. Compound assignment with augmented addition. In programming, it is common to use assignments to modify the contents of a variable. Remember that everything to the right of the equal sign is evaluated first. So we can say myvar equal to myvar plus 5 to add 5 to myvar. Since this is such a common pattern, there are operators which do both a mathematical operation and assignment in one step. One such operator is plus equal to, yes. Tripped me up before, but very helpful. Myvar equal to 1, myvar plus equal to 1. The plus takes the one on the left and adds it to the total value that you're going to add on the right, from what I remember, if I'm not mistaken. So that will be interesting and a half, I guess. Convert the assignments for A, B, and C to use the plus equal to operator. Can we do that? Shall we do that? I think we shall. So A equal to A plus 12. So we just do plus equal to. So much easier. B equal to 9 plus B. Why'd you add plus B at the end? So confusing. C equal to C plus equal to 7. Yay! Compound assignment with augmented subtraction. Exactly the same, it's just minus equal to, right? So let's do the same. Minus equal to 6. Minus equal to 15. Minus equal to 1. Compound assignments with augmented multiplication. Exactly the same. We're just going to add multiplication this time. And let me guess, the last one's going to be division. Oops. Almost tripped me up there because of the assignment. We're looking for the numbers only. There we go. And the last one, yep, division. I've never actually used this one or seen it used before. It just looks weird having a forward slash in front of the equals. Declare string variables. Previously we have used the code and it is called a string literal. It is a string because it is a series of 0 or more characters enclosed in single or double quotes. Create 2 new string variables, my first name, my last name, and assign them the values of your first and last name respectively. Var my name, Philippe. Var my last name. How are you gonna handle Latin characters? What? I always get tripped up with this. I wish it would be like an auto close. Single versus double quotes. JavaScript. I just want to figure out the two. I know in certain ways, if you need to enclose a literal double quote, then you'd use single quotes and stuff, but some people just like double. Like I would always use double by default. I just want to figure out, is there a single reason why you would ever use single versus double? Oh, because you don't have to escape. Wait, you have to escape? Oh, because there's already a what do you call it? There's a quote in there, so to escape that you'd need a double. So that would be easier. Other than being consistent, use whichever best suits the string. Say hello versus say hello. But this can get complicated. It's game time. It's game time. Ooh, yeah. If you're dealing with JSON, it should be noted that strictly speaking JSON strings must be double quoted. So by default we're just going to go with double quotes, just because it's also commonly used in JSON, which we're probably going to use as well. And I just always use double quotes, so let's just stick with it. My first name should be a string. Oh, my first name. Sorry. Escaping literal quotes in strings. Hey, we were literally just talking about this. It's like, it can read my mind. Are they like altering this on the fly? They're like, When you are defining a string, you must start and end with a single or double quote. What happens when you need a literal quote inside of your string? In JavaScript, you can escape a quote from considering it as an end of string quote by placing a backslash in front of the quote. This signals to JavaScript that the following quote is not the end of the string, but should instead appear inside the string. So if you were to print this to the console, you would get, Alan said, Peter is learning JavaScript. So you escape it by putting a backslash in front of the quote. Okay. Use backslashes to assign a string to the myString variable so that if you were to print it to the console, you would see I am a double quoted string inside double. Wait, this is confusing. Quotes. There, I think it's right. Oh, hold on. There you go. Wow, that is quite complicated. I would just not write it this way. We are in the Matrix, you know it. Oh, I do. That's why I always say welcome to the Matrix. Run the tests. Quoting strings with single quotes. String values in JavaScript may be written with single or double quotes as long as you start and end with the same type of quote. Unlike some other programming languages, we're looking at you, Python, single and double quotes work the same in JavaScript. Double quote string, this is a string. Single quote string, this is also a string. Oh, no way! And we know about ES6 with the backtick as a string. The reason why you might want to use one type of quote over the other is that you want to use both in a string. This might happen if you want to save a conversation in a string and have the conversation in quotes. Another use for it would be saving an A tag with various attributes in quotes or within a string. Conversation, Finn exclaims to Jake. Algebraic. However, this becomes a problem if you need to use the outermost quotes within it. Remember, a string has the same kind of quote at the beginning and end, but if you have that same quote somewhere in the middle, the string will stop early and throw an error. In the good string above, you can use both quotes safely by using the backslash as an escape character. The backslash should not be confused with the forward slash. They do not do the same thing. Change the provider string to a string with single quotes at the beginning and end and no escape characters. Okay, so we are going to use single quotes then. But hold on, we don't want to escape this. It's supposed to be... Oh, you need to escape it, right, literally. It needs to actually be there, yeah. Yeah, that's good, that's fine. It's correct now. Rayaz, I haven't heard this accent in a long time. Are you from Africa? I absolutely am. Right now, we're having the braai. It's getting ready to provide us the bountiful meat from today's hunt. And I can't wait. Specifically Johannesburg? No, it's actually Cape Town. And yourself? It's good to have you, by the way. Welcome. So I think we should be fine. Remove all the backslashes. What? We need to remove them? Like actually remove... Oh, because you don't... Wait, what did you want us to do? Right now, the A tag in the string uses double quotes everywhere. You will need to change the outer quotes to single quotes so you can remove the escape characters. Okay, so you don't want us to escape them after all. Fair enough. There you go. I mean, it would have worked either way. It would have been literal if we were escaping them, but okay. I'm from Miami. Okay. So where have you heard the accent before? You been here before? Are you originally from here and you moved? Just so you know, all the programming text on the stream is a bit too small for us people to read. I was hoping that I was streaming for the ants. I mean, that's specifically why I created breakpoints for the ants, so that they can follow my stream. Which I'm very proud of. This one over here, actually. You see my projects? See, normal humans won't be able to read this, but watch as it magically sizes so that the ants can read it. Wow, it's amazing. But in all seriousness, are you viewing on a mobile device? Are you on a laptop, tablet, PC? Responsive, right? You're on a desktop. That's weird. It might just be because of my resolution. Because I am in 2560 and then scaled down. I think my stream's in 720p. So yeah, that might... Hold on, let me just see what this looks like on my 1080p display. I mean, it looks okay for me, maybe a little bit small. I wonder. The only thing I can really do is change my output to 1080p, but trying to stream at 1080p, I mean, as long as I'm at 30 frames, that shouldn't be an issue for people to watch my stream. I might try that. 1080p might be a bit better. I could zoom in, yeah, like I could totally zoom in and then ruin my own experience of designing things, and it won't be responsive because then I'll try and figure out what's going on. I wonder if I could just do it within my stream though. Oh, the only issue with doing it this way is that you guys will probably miss out parts of the content, as in it will literally zoom. We have to be entertaining, don't we? Fair enough. Tell me if this is a little bit better. I'm gonna use the built-in zoom and go at 100. Let's do 120%. Is this better for you? Is this a bit more readable? And let me check on my side. I'm not sure how much that changed. Something nearly all programming streams do. Yeah, I used to do that when I had my Notepad++, but I only had to capture a small portion so I could actually zoom in. And like, trust me, working in like half the space that I'm used to. Yeah, it's either that or I need to stream at 1080p. But is this something that you actually can follow, or do you still need it a bit bigger? Because as long as I can see most of the content, I'm only worried when I do the responsive stuff that obviously having it at a width that's not 100%. I mean, for JavaScript it won't be an issue, but when I'm doing the actual CSS stuff it will mess it up a bit. Alright. Either that or change Firefox global styles, just make all the fonts big. Bring in the magnifying glass. Something like, hold on, let's do something like this. This, and do this. Now you could just see parts of my screen. A little bit bigger. Yeah, I'll play around with it. It's a good idea. No one's actually brought it up before, but I'm sure it's hard. Especially I know for a fact if you're on mobile you're not going to see anything. Yeah, and I mean it might up my game with CSS, right? I'll actually fully be responsive. Cool, so we're going to leave it at, let's do, I guess, 133%. If that's easy enough for you, looks good for me. It's either that or I change my desktop resolution and I just freaking stick myself at 720p. Because the main thing that's happening right now is I'm at 2560 and that downscales to 720p poorly. So for me it looks fine. For you guys on the stream it looks awful with the scaling. But enough of that, let's get back to escape sequences in strings. Quotes are not the only characters that can be escaped in a string. There are two reasons to use escaping characters. First is to allow you to use characters you might not otherwise be able to type out, such as a backspace. Second is to allow you to represent multiple quotes in a string without JavaScript misinterpreting what you mean. We learned this in the previous challenge. Note that the backslash itself must be escaped in order to display as a backslash, so two double backslash, yeah, that would be a backslash, a single backslash, double quote, single quote, a new line, that I know, thankfully, especially from, I can't remember where. I did that somewhere. Was it batch, back in the batch days? I think it was. Backspace and a form feed. Assign the following 3 lines of text into the single variable myString using escape sequences. Okay, so you want us to have first line, second line. Wait, is that an actual literal backslash that you want us to add? I assume it is. And then third line. They don't make this easy for us, do they? You will need to use escape sequences. Yeah, I've done that. You also need to follow the spacing as it looks above. Follow the spacing? What do you mean follow the spacing? You mean you literally want the white spaces? No, surely they're not referring to that. Here's a text with the escape sequence written out. First line, new line, tab. Oh, there is an actual tab there. Oh, damn. So we got first line. We've added it as a new line, and then we need to add a tab in, and then a double backslash, and then the second line is a new line that says third line. It sure made this complicated. We've got a T. Second line should be preceded by the backslash character, which we have. Hold on. First line, new line, tab. Oh, because wait. It's a string, and I don't even have an. What happened to my assignment operator? Oh, and where are my quotes? No wonder. Okay, let's try this. They want an actual literal string. That's first line. Okay. That is going to be a new line tab. Okay. Wow. I just completely failed to realize I didn't even have an operator assignment. I just assumed they would add it in for me. Like, that's the least they can do. It's like, no, we're gonna leave it completely uninitialized. Good luck. Enjoy. I always read this as cat. It is concatenating, right? Otherwise I'm just gonna really look like a fool, and I know no one's gonna correct me because it just sounds cool when you say you're going to cat a string with the plus operator. In JavaScript, when the plus operator is used with the string value, it is called the concatenation operator. You can build a new string out of other strings. I love doing that. My name is Alan plus I cat. Watch out for spaces. Concatenation does not add spaces between concatenated strings, so you'll need to add them yourself. Build my string from the strings, and you're not going to trick me again. This time I'm going to initialize. Cool, we're ready. From the strings, this is the start, and this is the end. I think that should be it. Cool. I honestly say cat instead of concatenate and mod instead of modulo. Okay, fair enough. Or is it just because you're afraid that you can't really pronounce them correctly, so... like me. We had a funny thing earlier when I was doing my portfolio page. The section that reads I'm a developer didn't pass out because I didn't have enough padding, so it said devel. So we're like, hey, this is cool. It's like the new slang for nowadays. I'm a devel. How's it going? So we're just going to refer to ourselves as devel. And cat and mod. We can also use the plus equal to operator to concatenate a string onto the end of an existing string variable. Onto the end of the existing one. Oh, so that's like plus this, that. How's that different to the last one we did? It was this plus this. This could be very helpful to break a long string over several lines. Watch out for spaces. Concatenation does not add spaces between concatenated strings, so you need to add them yourself. Build my string over several lines by concatenate. Oh, you mean like that. I see what you mean. Because then you don't need to call the variable. Okay, yeah, I get it. Start by assigning the first string to my string, then add on the second string. What are we going to have in the string? First one is... And I'm confused with this editor, because sometimes it opens up double quotes for me, and other times it doesn't. It just decides when it wants to. This is the first sentence. And you want... Oh, this is so cool. It's got autocomplete now. Why didn't it have it earlier? I like that. And like suggestions and all that. I can't wait to set up Visual Studio, because I've always been using Notepad++, so... and then the second string is this is the second sentence. I think that's it. Constructing strings with variables. Sometimes you'll need to build a string, Mad Lib style. Do I get the reference? What's Mad Libs? It's like Mad Lads, but for like libraries in JavaScript. Mad Libs is a phrasal template word game. I do not know that. Where one player prompts others for a list of words to substitute for blanks. Oh, is that kind of like, what's that game? Cards Against Humanity, was it? Something like that, maybe? Reference, see also? Is Cards Against Humanity over here? No? Club Penguin! There it is, Cards Against Humanity, see also. Set my string, my name, to a string equal to your name. I'm not going to do that again. My name equal to... My name is Jeff. Wait. And build my string to my name plus my name plus and I am well. Got him. Appending variables to strings. Just as we can build a string over multiple lines out of string literals, we can also append variables to a string using the plus equal to operator. Set some adjective and append it to my string using the plus equal to operator. Some adjective should be set to a string of at least 3 characters long. Lol. Learning to code is... How did I not append? Append some adjective. Oh. I thought we were building a string. Invalid left... Oh. Wait, what? Oh wait, I'm confused now. Hold on. This is the string, right? So why do I need... Do I need a third line? I should be doing this in the morning. I should not be doing this at 20 to 10 in the evening. Append some adjective, right, to my string. Oh, I messed up. That's why. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna dispute the logic there. That's probably on me. Find the length of a string. Oh, my favorite! I remember when arrays gave me hell. You can find the length of a string value by writing .length after the string variable or string literal. So what's the difference between a string and a string literal? I always thought they were the same. This is a string, is it not? So what is a string literal? A literal piece of string, but I thought all strings are literal. I mean, what else is a string, right? I can't believe I'm gonna actually Google that. I need to know now. Oh, a secret between single compilers use string literals to create string values that are stored in string variables. That's Java. That's an object. A literal is a value defined literally in the program. The value cannot be changed at runtime. It's specified in the program code up front. Constants, yeah, I remember constants, especially in was it Bash or prior? Okay, I got you. For example, okay, use the length property to count the number of characters in the last name variable and assign it to last name length. So last name length equal to last name dot length. Pretty simple. What? No? Use the length property to count the number of characters in last name and assign it to last name length. This is why I'm gonna get so tripped up. I'm so used to calling a function with the parameters, whether it's blank or not, passing the arguments. And I forgot here you don't have to do that. You literally just go .length. Oh, this is gonna mess me up so badly, because to call a function... Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna have to keep that in mind. Use bracket notation to find the first character in a string. So index 0, I guess. Bracket notation is a way to get a character at a specific index within a string. Most modern programming languages like JavaScript don't start counting at 1 like humans do. Yes, zero-based. This is referred to as zero-based indexing. For example, the character at index 0 in the word Charles is C. So if var first name equal to Charles, you can get the value of the first letter of the string by using first name 0. Use bracket notation to find the character in the last name variable and assign it to first letter of last name. First letter of last name is last name 0. So it's a good thing I spent those 2 years modding in Skyrim, huh? It sure did teach me a thing or two, because I do remember struggling at some point in time with these things. There are about 100 different styles for JavaScript. Have fun learning about this one specifically. There are about 100 different styles? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like libraries? You're not referring to stuff like jQuery, are you? Understand string immutability. In JavaScript, string values are immutable, which means that they cannot be altered once created. For example, the following code: myString equal to Bob, myString 0 equal to J. Cannot change the value of myString to job. What do you mean to job? That's J. Where do you get job from? That's J. Because the contents of myString cannot be altered. Note that this does not mean that myString cannot be changed, just that the individual characters of a string literal cannot be changed. The only way to change myString would be to assign it with a new string like this. Oh, you mean getting the actual letter, right. I didn't even know you... Wow, okay. So each specific character in a string is stored in an index. I didn't realize that. That's what makes it so much more powerful than the silly language that I was using, that you couldn't freaking do that. I get that. So you can't change the index once it's defined, but you can get the index. So it's kind of like you can set it, but you can't get it kind of thing. Like read only. 100 different ways of writing JavaScript in such a way that the interpreter can understand it. Really? Can you give me an example of that? So I can just follow? Because I learned something today. That was crazy. I don't know if that's one of them, but Christopher's was like, you can do console.log 0.1 equal to 0.2 to basically find out if that is true or false and get the assignment back, which is false. And I had no idea that you could do that, because I would have like specifically defined it in a variable. If I did a struct, like if A equal to this, then do this, else do that, and like you could literally just do it straight up like that. I had no idea. So my string 0 equal to h is the same as my underscore string 0 equal to h. Oh yeah, I mean I get that. All you did was change the quotes from single to double and add a underscore to your variable name. But I mean, is there anything specific? That's literally just the way you want to write your variables. I will always use camel case. I mean, you just got to pick something that you like, and I've always liked camel case. So that's just a style preference, I guess. But is there anything specific that you mean that could like throw me off? Like I did with the brackets in calling a JavaScript function. Because .length, literally in the other languages I'm used to, you'll go .length and you'll need to call it like that with the brackets, regardless if you pass in an argument or not. Whereas here I got tripped up because you don't do that. Where I'm pretty sure you will pass arguments if there are arguments, but I guess .length doesn't take any arguments. But why didn't they just let you do it anyway? And that is still valid. It's weird. Nothing I can talk to you about right now that wouldn't confuse you. You could try me, you never know. I've done some pretty complicated things. Let me see. On my GitHub, one of my proudest functions. How about these? Oh wait, these are my functions. Event handler? No. The event handler data one. Nope, the functions. You will see that is how we called indexes here. Where was the one? A lot of debug messages. You see, like, yeah, any function is going to have open and close brackets that you'll call. And you have to specify, sorry, you can't see it, it's tiny. There you go. And you have to specify the type as integer or as float. So that's another thing that's going to mess me up. Because I'm used to, just like in the C languages, you'll specify if it's an integer or float. In JavaScript, like I'm even used to specifying a boolean. So bool and then the name of the variable. In JavaScript, there's nothing. You just name the variable. And whatever you assign it to, it just automatically figures out what it is. Which is going to take some getting used to. And if I get used to JavaScript, I'm going to feel like I'm going to fail getting back into something like this. See, like, oh, I did use just .length. Interesting. Maybe that was just me getting confused. I can't read any of it. You might want to use TypeScript if you prefer a typed language. Okay. By the way, welcome. Grote Melonen, is it? Good to have you here. Haven't seen you around before. I'm still learning the basics. Yeah, so basically what happened in 2015, I had a few courses and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get into JavaScript, do some backend stuff. And then I discovered the world of modding Skyrim and it kind of sucked me in. So for 2 years I was creating mods. I had no idea about anything. I'd barely just done the basics of this JavaScript. And yeah, it was bad. And then I bashed my head against several keyboards. Many months later I kind of forced myself to get into it and somehow I got to a proficient level of understanding within 2 years. to the point where I feel, you know, I can pretty much create anything. And then I decided I'm not going to really get anywhere. I mean, cool, you know, it's good for game development, maybe add it to my portfolio, but I want to do something serious. And I remembered my studies, and I was like, well, you kind of just like skipped on the basics, so you got to go back. So that's what I'm doing now. As part of these 100 days, I want to cover as much of this free code camp curriculum as I can. We already did the I want to say the front end stuff, but it's really basic, just the HTML, CSS, and the responsiveness. And now we're doing the full JavaScript stack. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are now. But I heard of TypeScript, but I think I just want to get familiar with one language and not like bounce all over the place. I think JavaScript's really great, especially because I want to get into game development, so the whole object-oriented programming really interests me. That and Canvas, I want to look into that, and Phaser, library of JavaScript, there's gonna be a lot of fun times. I can tell I'm gonna be building quite a few projects, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, I guess we should move on here. We understand the points of immutability, things that I couldn't even dream of doing in that godforsaken language of Papyrus. Correct the assignment to myString so it contains the string value of hello world. So we need to remove that because we can't do that. And it needs to say hello world. And there we are. Use bracket notation to find the nth character in a string. You can also use bracket notation to get the character at other positions within a string. Remember that computers start counting at 0, so the first character is actually the 0th, is that even a word? Character. Let's try to set third letter of last name to equal the third letter of the last name variable using bracket notation. Okay, so third letter, it should literally just be what? 2, right? Because 0, 1, 2. And that should be it. Cool. Oh, Canvas games, those are fun. I started making mine a few weeks ago. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just saw that it's amazing what you can do. Like literally just purely in HTML. So my plan is to make an idle game. I've always loved idle games, you know, old school games like Cookie Clicker, even Clicker Heroes, more modern. What else was there? I'm playing Trimps, a lot of Trimps. So I definitely want to do some kind of idle game and some kind of RTS game. Text-based. So I don't know if you guys remember something like O-Game. Used to love that. Bite Fight, Travium, stuff like that. So like a real-time strategy ticker type game with resource management. Text-based, of course. That's my dream. So I started on one a while ago, actually. Let me see if I can find it. It's somewhere here. I think it's under my programming or scripting. No, not scripting. It was coding. Come on. Coding. There it is. JavaScript ORTS prototype developer master. I think it was in the development branch. Let's open this. Can you guys see this? So this is what I worked on before I stopped JavaScript. I had like basically no experience in JavaScript, and I was like, you know what? I want to build a little game. So you can see you got resources here. 500 of everything, and you can build like a mine. Let's say I want a carbon mine. It's level 0. I can click and build a carbon mine. It's currently building a carbon mine, and you'll see the resources got taken, and now you see I'm going to get 9 an hour of carbon. So that slowly starts ticking. So we can build a silicon mine and a ferro mine, but we can't build another one because we block building blocked. So you can only build one building at a time. So you just like randomly click these things. So yeah, this is actually a project that I did, and I was very proud of it. I mean, considering I had like basically no experience in JavaScript. My code is hideous. I don't know if I should even show you guys, but yeah. Game.js, open. Can I open this with Firefox? Because how else am I going to show you? Where's Firefox? I think it's going to literally give me the JavaScript file. Firefox Portable. Don't give me the literal file, please. He's doing his best to not program. He's a noob. Look! It even shows you the time, and I'm rank 1. You guys are just jelly that you can't play my prototype game. Look at my level, current level 2. And you see the costs, they get greater the higher your level. And look, we're earning resources, guys. So we're earning 16, what was that, carbon. So I try to make it like life-based. So like you got carbon, you got oxygen, all the basics. Silicon, even though silicon will kind of be like carbon-based. Ferrum, obviously iron. Try to have like the technical terms for it. And hydrogen, and then hydrogen and oxygen, and you're going to do the combinations for that. Fine, I'll get back. But this is JavaScript, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, I did all this. Look at our resources! We'll come back and we'll get 16 in an hour. We started with 500. It's a great investment. Let's get some more carbon, quickly, come on. Before Ryaz is like, we need to get back. Oh god, we already need to get back. Can I just get it to level 5 quickly? Please, come on, level 5! Oh, not building, we have no troops. We're not researching anything. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. It's like, oh god, did I actually close that? Well, I guess we're done for today, guys. I actually closed the browser. It's okay. We heard you, but you're still learning JavaScript, so go learn. I know, I need to get done. Because otherwise it's going to be the same as last time. Ooh, a project, this is interesting, and then build the project. Even though I feel that building projects helps you far better than it does just reading stuff. And this is what's nice about Free Code Camp. Anyway, try looking, wait, what do you want me to do? Use bracket notation to find the last character in the last name variable. How do we know? We need .length. So it's going to be something like last name .length. And then -1 because it's 0 based. No entertainment value here. Look who we... Oh, show on stream. Why am I not showing anything? Sorry. You guys aren't supposed to see this though. I'm actually doing something else and I'm pretending to be doing this. I'm actually working on my project, you see. But fine, since you guys want to see, there you go. I did this at one time. It was great. I also, once upon a time, had a single stream where I had my mic muted. That was fun. Because I, you know, had a quick break. But I mean, in the years of streaming, I've picked up on these things. And I mean, this is why I have a chat now, so you guys can actually say something. Anyway, I think that is right. It is indeed. I will support you the moment that my stream supports me. I think it's only fair. Use bracket notation to find the nth to last character in a string. Right, H3H3? This is where it's at. So you need to pay attention because you struggle. And I find it easy. So like I said, you help me with the front end stuff, I'll help you with the back end stuff. And ooh, I need to show off because like Ryaz is here. So both of you, I could show you both of you. Kill two birds with one stone because you weren't here for this H3H3. So I did a little bit of JavaScript magic using jQuery. And I did something cool with the buttons. So you know these are I elements, right? This is in a span with an I tag with the links next to it. If you hover over the A, what does it do? What is that? It's what? It's moving the icons when you hover over it. That's just crazy. I bet you're a bit jealous now, aren't you, Milan? And that... right? You're more than welcome to take my code. It's very simple. All I did was... let me show you. So we wrapped this in a span tag. Do you remember from earlier? Then the icons are of a type I, right? And we have the A tags that are the links. So what we're doing here is we basically, when we mouse over the event, which is going to be the A tag, we are then creating a new variable called contact link, and we're adding a dot to it, and we're adding e.targetID to get the ID of whatever we're hovering over. In this case, it's going to be profile link. So then we make a variable called dot profile link to select it as a class. And then all we do is we find contact link. So find anything that has the class .contact link, and we add another class to it called spinning icons. So if you notice here now, over here, this is the icon. All it has is fab and FA GitHub and profile link, right? Sorry, you can't probably see that. I'm gonna mouse over. Do you see these 1, 2, 3 classes? When I mouse over the A tag, do you see that it added spinning icons to it? And when I mouse leave, that's the other function. So when we leave that tag, it removes it. And that's how we animated it. So that's something new that I did today, which is pretty cool. And this is why I like just taking what I learn and building them. Anyway, back to back to this. You're more than welcome to. Oh, Ryaz, about that. No, it's just because me and H3 have been like working on projects together, and yeah, I think he's trying to turn his portfolio into my portfolio. Next, I know he's going to start animating his text like mine. So it's a constant competition. It's like who can one up the front end. And H3, you're supposed to beat me. You're freaking supposed to be getting into front end. Shh, we do not speak of this. Anyway, find the nth to last. So would that be the same as you find the last and then just subtract a certain amount? Okay, so for example, you can get the value of the third to last letter of the variable firstname Charles string by using firstname.length minus 3. Third to last. So firstname.length, if it's 6 digits long, it would be 7, right? Hold on, let's test something. Let's say we got Abby. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So if I go... Let's say it was called Abby.length. Or Abby.length. That would then actually be 4. So Abby 4. But Abby 4 doesn't exist because it's 0 based. Length is a bit stupid, don't you guys think? There should be a different one, because if you're going to call length, yeah, it is 4 items long, but if you're trying to get the index of it, there should be like length index or index length or some other function. I guess you could make your own. Because now you have to go 4 minus 1 to get 3 to get the last one, which is the y. Sorry, I had to write this out for myself so I can understand what they mean by nth to last. It's not, it makes sense, H3, it's logical. That's why I like it. CSS is not logical when things don't freaking work, when they're supposed to work. That's why I hate it so much. It's just not logical, and then you enter another browser from the Stone Age, and it's like, I never want to do front end again. I'm done. I want logic, and I just like programming because it's logical, except when it's not. But we won't get into that for now. Try looking, okay, use bracket notation to find the second to last character. Second to last. So if that was last, you want the second one. Okay, so last name. Last name dot length minus 1 is the last, second last is minus 2. That should be it. That's why I'll do front end and you there for back end, and we are set. If you could even do front end. I'm just kidding. I will not forgive you for your burger menus. We just need a graphic designer now, or someone that does visuals, and then we're set. Because I don't think either of us are pretty good with that. Word blanks. We will now use our knowledge of strings to build a Mad Lib style word game we're calling Word Blanks. And guess what? You guys in chat will be able to give me the words. So get your words ready, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be making ourselves a word game. You will create an optionally humorous, okay guys, you need to be humorous please, Fill in the blank style sentence. In a Mad Libs game, you are provided sentences with some missing words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. You then fill in the missing pieces with words of your choice in a way that the completed sentence makes sense. Consider this sentence. It was really cold and we laughed ourselves asleep. Doesn't actually say that, but you know. This sentence has three missing pieces: an adjective, a verb, and an adverb, and we can add words of our choice to complete it. We can then assign the completed sentence to a variable as follows. In this challenge we provide you with a noun, a verb, and but I don't want your... I want to make my own. You need to form a complete sentence using words of your choice. Oh, I can, along with the words we provide. You will need to use a string concatenation operator to build a new string using the provided variables my noun, my adjective, my verb, and my adverb. You will then assign the formed strings to the result variable. Whew, that was a mouthful. You will also need to account for spaces in your string so that the final sentence has spaces between all the words. The result should be a complete sentence. Wowee. Okay. What is my string? What do you want to call my variable? What is it? Result. You will then assign to the result. Result equal... What? Wait. Up there. Your code below this line. Your code above this line. What? Okay. Okay, so what is our first word going to be? We need a sentence, guys. Can someone give me a sentence? I mean, you could start with the, or, you know, it, or I. Our words are dog, big, ran, and quickly. And no, can we please not have the big dog ran quickly? I mean, that's just too simple. It needs to be humorous. They did say optionally, but you know we like to go for all the side quests, so... Animal of color, material, judge my vowel. Sounds badass, except unfortunately we have to use the words they provided. So I can start with dog, so since you said that. Change the words here to test your function. Wait, how do I get the word blank? Sorry, I'm so confused now. Using the provided variables. Where the hell are the oh, they're the variables. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I see what I need to do. I think I know what I need to do at least. Animal of color. So we're gonna have an animal. H3, will you pick an animal? Ryaz, will you pick a color? For the adjective, I'm gonna say laughed. And now we just need an adverb. Teal. Okay, we have a teal. Even though it's not really supposed to be color, but adjective is going to be teal. Kind of is though, right? An animal of platypus, because you know H3 does not want to respond and he's probably going to say dog or cat. Platypus, interesting choice. Can we have an adverb, please? And then we're going to form our result in the meantime. I like the judge my vowels. It's pretty... Is that from something? Am I not getting the reference? My noun plus Adequately. Nice. Okay. It's gonna be interesting. But can we make it funny? So we got a noun. So the larch, the platypus plus the space. My adjective. This is gonna be so random. Oh. We're gonna have my verb over there. So I need to escape these. There's the opening and the closing there. I did escape it, so why does it show as it's not escaped if I want to string literal? I'm gonna have to use single quotes. I can use that just fine. It's here that's the issue. There and there. Without that, please. Don't think I'm gonna need to escape that now because it's part of an actual literal. Sorry, this is taking longer because I have to like actually plan out the sentence. My adverb. $354. What are you talking about? That should be fine. Okay, so let's just check. So the plus noun plus of plus adjective plus origin plus verb plus that plus adverb plus end the sentence. Cool. Was I not supposed to edit these words? Oh god. Please don't tell me that's not the case. Can we test this now without it passing on? No! Don't go! I want to actually see it physically. Can I please see it? I thought it's gonna like return. Can we do like a alert? No! Stop! Stop! Alert with the result. The platypus of Teal origin laughed as they said the sacred phrase, "Judge my vow," adequately. Wait, why is there a full stop there? Brilliant. Hold on. Stop! I don't want to see for each instance. I know I could have done console.log, but it's a running joke. You could ask Christopher us about it, who happens to have already picked up on it. I think it looks great. You guys are just jelly. The platypus of Teal origin laughed as I said the secret phrase, "Judge my vow," adequately. The dog of big origin ran as I said the secret phrase, "Judge my vow." The cat of little origin hit as they said the secret phrase, "Judge my vow," slowly. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I think that was good. Now we can move on. Oh god. No, make it stop. No, make it stop. Let me just remove that. Okay, now we can go. I mean, honestly, if you've got thousands of lines of code, what better way to debug than just alert them all? Because then you're not going to miss it, it's going to be right in your face, and you get to proceed when you want to proceed, right? And then if you have to go back one, then it's like, you just start the chain again. That way you're not going to miss the previous ones as well. I mean, it's logic, right? Logic right there. With JavaScript array variables, we can store several pieces of data in one place. You start an array declaration with an opening square bracket, end it with a closing square bracket, and put a comma between each entry, like this. Is that Krillin's head? Oh god, trust you guys to have custom heads. Oh, wonderful. Oh, you guys just jazz my life, honestly. I love it. Okay, so let's move on, and maybe one day we're actually going to be able to build something. I'm sure this must be fun for you guys. You probably take a break from your serious coding and you just see this person just wondering what the hell is he actually doing, and just, you know, have a good laugh at my expense. It's all good, you know. I get it. It's to relieve stress, life's hard, shit's real. You gotta have fun somewhere, right? I'm laughing at you while I write a speech. In that speech, do you by any chance have alert in it? Oh, what are you writing a speech on? With each JavaScript array variable, we can store several pieces of data in one. Yes, arrays. I remember arrays. Arrays are fun. You can also have... The one thing I like about JavaScript, you can have multi-dimensional, as in like 3D arrays, where I had to fake 3D arrays in the previous language, which was an absolute nightmare. I just can't remember if you can store multiple things. I think you can. The types don't matter. So you can have like a boolean and like a string and whatever in the arrays, from what I remember. So we start an array declaration with an opening square bracket, end it with a closing square bracket, and put a comma between each entry like this. That kind of looks like JSON, doesn't it? Because JSON data. Oh no, you have the curly brackets, I think. Modify the new array, my array, so that it contains both a string and a number in that order. Okay, so string of Rayaz. And we're going to take a guess that based on the condescending tone, that they're in between, like about, it's like between 22 and 26. So I'm going to average that out and get the average here. We're going to go to our console and we're going to go alert, okay? And we're going to go average 22, 26. Is that a function? Is that a function? What do you mean you're missing? Why are you missing? Average is not defined. Is it AVG? Is it average? I will find you. I will make the function if I have to. Is it AVG? It's not average. Oh god. I will figure it out. I will make one if I have to. Okay? I will make the function. I mean, there must be a... So we do a function. That is how you specify them, right? Get AVG, get the average, okay, and then num1, num2, and then from what I can remember, you're gonna do return var result equal to, wait, let's forget the return now, is num1 plus num2 divided by the number of items. So since we know it's always going to be 2, we can do that, and then return result. I told you, I'm serious. I'm gonna get this. Gotta do it for the memes, right? So that should be it. Hopefully there's no issues. Missing. What are you missing? What am I missing? Am I missing something? You know what? I just realized something. I could just do this. I can literally just do 22. I forgot the number. 22 plus 26 divided by 2. Why is there... Hold on, how many? Did you added an extra bracket, damn you. 24. Okay? I know that took a while, Ryaz. I know that took a while. But it was worth it. It was for the memes. It was amazing. So Ryaz at 24. I will take my cookie now. Thank you. That was good. You gotta admit it. That was good. You are now forever immortalized. Shit! 12! Really? Shit! Fuck. Okay. You can also nest arrays within other arrays, like this. Multi-dimensional arrays. Why don't they call it that? Oh wait, they do. This is also called a multi-dimensional array. AKA, we call them 3D arrays, can't we? Create a nested array called myArray. Okay, so myArray, we're gonna have an array in an array. Just like whatever. The age of Ryaz . Hold on. Here's an example of an MD array in my HTML5 program, just so you can understand it better. Finally, you're trusting me with something now. See, I'm not that helpless. Okay, I'm done. No, I'm kidding. That's cool. Okay, so you set up your resources here. Oh, these are just images. So you got booleans. Interesting. That's cool. So that's one array, that's another array, that's another array, that's another array. So those are 4 arrays in a single array. Nice. Yeah, but it makes sense though. I initially got tripped up, but then I realized you have the the commas outside of them, then I realize, okay, that's an entire array by itself. Can you have like as many multi-dimensional arrays as you want? Could you have an array in an array in an array? Because then I need to make another meme, because I made a meme. I made this meme. Right? Pretty relevant, huh? So now we need to make a yo dog, I heard you like arrays. So I put an array in an array. So you can array where you array and question your life decisions that got you to this point. You actually use an array like that? That's crazy. I think you're using it wrong. I think you need to figure it out. It doesn't sound efficient at all. But I bought it at runtime and don't want to bother finding it in the code and console logging it. Okay, fair enough. Access array data with indexes. Didn't we learn about indexes earlier? Array indexes. Okay, so let me guess. Before it does this, the first value, 0, is going to be the first array. The second value is going to be the index of that array's items. So 1, 0 is going to be the second array in the multi-dimensional array. If I remember correctly. That just makes logical sense, right? Array indexes are written in the same bracket notation that strings use, except that instead of specifying a character, they are specifying an entry in the array. Like strings, arrays use zero-based indexing, so the first element in an array is element 0. So arrays equal to 50, 60, 70, array 0, yeah, equals 50, makes sense. Data equal to array 1 equals 60. Okay, makes sense. There shouldn't be any spaces between the array name and the square brackets like array 0. Although JavaScript is able to process this correctly, this may confuse other programmers reading your code. Aha, I know exactly what to do for arrays now. Create a variable called myData and set it to equal the first value of my array using bracket notation. Okay, so myData equal to my array. There. Beautiful. It's got the space. It doesn't want me to do the space, does it? Ah, it was such a troll moment. It's efficient if I don't have to deal with it. True. It would be more efficient if we had, you know, AI writing code for us. Wait, that's a thing already. Ah, I can't wait to get into machine learning. But then I'm going to have to jump into Python. Modify array data with indexes. Thing is, I don't want to go too far out because I really want to get into game development. So I thought JavaScript is going to be a good first step, and then from there C, probably C#. And because then I know I can also create DLLs and hooks, which a lot of games use, so like my mods would be like 10 times better because I can hook in directly into the game library. But anyway, unlike strings, the entries of arrays are mutable and can be changed freely. Wait, what? Really? So strings can't be changed, but the entries of arrays. Okay, because it's a data set, like the data is inside, it's being housed. So you would literally just be specifying it as you would a string, completely overriding a string. Unless they're saying it's mutable in that you can have a string in an array and change like a specific index of that string, which I don't think is the case. There shouldn't be any spaces, yeah, we know that. Modify the data stored at index 0 of my array. So my array index 0 equal to 45. That should literally be all that we need. Cool. Access multi-dimensional arrays with indexes. One way to think of a multi-dimensional array is an array of arrays. Not confusing at all. When you use brackets to access your array, the first set of brackets refers to the entries in the outermost, the first level, array, and each additional pair of brackets refers to the next level of entries inside. Example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth array. And this is a two-dimensional. Well, I don't want to say two-dimensional. It's two separate ones in one single array. But that's an array inside an array. That's part of the original array. So array 3 equals 0, 1, 2. Wait, what? Array 3 equals 10, 11, 12. How? Oh, never mind, 0 based. Ah, makes sense, yeah, that's 4. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, yeah, that makes sense. So 3, 0, wait, let me guess what 3, 0 would be. 3 would be that, 0, so it should be 10. Or the first one inside, wait. So the array, so 10, 11, 12. Yeah, and then 3, 0, 1. 3, 0 is this one. 1, 0, 1 should be 11. Yeah, cool. Okay, so you can really go deep. 3, 0, 1, 7. It just sounds like then you're using arrays incorrectly if you're just going to have that many of them. I don't know, like personal opinion, I guess. Well, wouldn't you use a database at that point and then just interface something like node? There shouldn't be any spaces between the array name and the square brackets. Yep, we know that. Although JavaScript is able, yep. Using bracket notation, select an element from my array such that my data is equal to 8. There's only one 8? Okay, cool. So we need to set my data. So you want me to go my... Oh, only change code below this line. Okay, so you want 8. Let's figure out where 8 is. It's in the first array. So it's 0. Then it's in the 1, 0, 1, 2 array. But I can only... Can I add another one here? The value needs to be equal to 8. But to select the first one... I'm gonna go with logic. This is logically what it should be. It should be 0 for the first one, 2 for the second one, and since they didn't add one, I'm gonna add one here to get the second, sorry, second one, 0, 1. So this should be it. 0, 2, 1 should give us 8. No? You should be using bracket notation. I am using bracket notation. How is it not? Am I getting tripped up? Oh, there's only one array. There's not 2 arrays. I'm wrong. So it's 2 and 1. I need to practice this. There we go. Phew! Manipulate arrays with push. I just want to go see something. Did I do this? Did I get this far before? JavaScript, where are we? We're still on basic. How far did I get? I completed basic. I skipped 2. I don't know how that's possible. So I didn't get to the end. Did I ever do ES6? Nope. Cool. I don't think I did any of these. Oh, I did basic algorithm. What? The first one. That's random. Nice, nice. Okay, cool. Manipulate arrays with push. Yeah, I never understood push and pop, I think, or something. I know it's like adding on. So I'm gonna have to really pay attention. Push takes one or more parameters and pushes them onto the end of the array. So is it kind of like concatenate with strings? Or not really? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4 push. Or is it gonna push it at the end? Oh, at the end of the array. Oh, so you don't have to create a new... That makes sense. Because how else would you do this if you wanted the 4? Var... Oh god, what did it... No. So var... Let's just look at this for ourselves. How would we get 4 onto that normally? How would I get 4 onto that? I would go... Array... Can you even do this? 0... That's 0, 1, 2. So array 3... equal to 4. Would that add 4 to the array? Guess there's only one way to check. So we go... I'm gonna call it array 1 just in case it actually conflicts in the session. So what does our console say? Hello? console. What happened to you? Okay, so there's our array. We got 1, 2, 3. Cool. Great. Now I wanted to say array in the 4th place, we add a 4 there. Array 1. And then we do console.log array 1. Oh, so that would work. Theoretically, yes, you can do it that way, but it's much easier to push. So push we'll always put at the end. And what if you wanted to shift? So if I wanted to put the 4 where 3 is, but the 3 where the 4 is. Ooh. Anyway, yes. So I was right, you can do it that way, but push is much easier. So push dog3 onto the end of my array. So my array equal to push dot push. Wait, what? Oh, my array dot push, because it's a function. And you need to specify what is going to be inside of that. Do you actually have to put in brackets? No, you don't. So it's literally the string dog and 3. Dog 3. Run the tests. What's wrong? You got dog 3. Go! Push dog 3 onto the end of my array. Why'd you put 3 in? Because it told me to put 3 in? Why am I reading this wrong now? It says push dog 3. Why are you using a multi-dimensional array? Oh. Does that actually work in FreeCode Camp? There's so much lag with this because it's constantly checking. Jesus! My array is not defined. Does that actually work in here though? Can you actually use the console here? I never tried it before. Oh, you can? I never knew it worked like that. It tells you to use an MD array. Yeah, I know, but it's not logging. It's not logging it, Christopher. Console.log my array. It's nothing. So it wants a multi-dimensional array. It says dog3, but I thought you would do it this way because it's multi-dimensional. Wait, do I actually have to add the brackets in? Sorry, I've never done this before. My example worked and it was simple. Do I have to literally do it like this? Put them in brackets? Anyways, you're pushing two different things into your array. You're pushing dog, then 3. Did I get confused because of the way they did it? And it wants you to push an array, not a string and a number. Push dog3. Oh, dog3 already exists. No, it doesn't. It wants you to push an array, so I already need an array. Oh. Yeah, let me do that. You're right, Christopher. Let me try and figure out first before you guys give me an idea. It doesn't say anything though. It's annoying. Running test. Show me my freaking log. Console.log my array. Nothing. Geez, some help you are. It's like I'm literally gonna have to do it in the console. Wait, is this it? In the actual physical console. John 23, cat 2, dog 3. Oh. Wait, did I actually have to push an array? That was the only thing missing. I didn't freaking have a bracket. Now it's fine. Wow. Okay, what happens if I remove the brackets? What was I pushing before? John 23, cat 2, dog 3. What was I pushing before? 3 and dog. They weren't arrays. Okay. Now I get it. Let me reread this to understand where I went wrong. Push takes one or more parameters and pushes them onto the array. This is why I'm confused. That is an existing array. When you say 4, it's going to add 4. Nowhere did it say that you need to freaking push an array onto the array. Like, am I just being, like, a bit slow here, guys? Or do you think that this could use a bit of reworking? Because the example they give is you push a number onto the end of an existing array. Nowhere does it say that you need to push an array onto the end of an array. Like, I mean, even if they had this here, yeah, I saw the brackets, I thought they just wanted me to just... So looking at it now, if I literally took this as is and stuck it into push, that would have worked. So maybe it's just me, maybe they could have worded it differently, maybe it's just the way I read it. It's telling you to push an array. It doesn't physically say that though, does it? But I guess you just know that this is an array because of the brackets. Example is 1D. The practice is 2D, yeah. Okay, well, fair enough. We figured it out, at least. And I appreciate you guys for not giving me the answer directly, because it allows me to also figure out what's going on. Here's pop. Now remember, pop removes the last item, if I'm not mistaken, right? So manipulate arrays with pop. Another way to change the data in arrays with pop function. Pop is used to pop a value off the end of an array. We can store this popped off value by assigning it to a variable. So we'll pop, remove it, and then you put it to a variable. Removes the last item from an array and returns that element. Okay. Any type of entry can be popped off on an array. Numbers, strings, even nested arrays. So 3 array, 1 down, 3 array.pop, console.log 1 down returns 6. Console.log 3 array returns 1 4. Okay. Use the pop function to remove the last item from my array, assigning the popped off value to removed from array. So removed from my array dot pop equal to my array dot pop. Simple enough. The pop one was more complicated. Sorry, the push one was more complicated than the pop. You would think they would like have us do something. Ah, this is what I was thinking about, shift, where you can move them around, right? Pop always removes the last element of an array. What if you want to remove the first? That's where shift comes in. It works just like pop, except it removes the first element instead of the last. But then how do you add to the first element? Use the shift function to remove the first item from my array, assigning the shifted off value to removed from my array. I'm assuming there's a way that you can get the index where you would pop or push or whatever, right? Then why did they create shift if you can just say pop and then wherever you're going to pop from? Use the shift function to remove the first item from my array, assigning the shift off value to removed from my array. So my array dot shift. So then it should take John, and then removed from my array is going to be John. No, it's going to be the first entire one, right? So it should only be dog left. I want to see it in an alert because I like, no, why? John 23. Yes, the array. Manipulate arrays with unshift. What? Not only can you shift elements off of the beginning of an array, you can also unshift elements to the beginning of an array. Okay, who decided to name them like this? Because if push and unshift, like how are you supposed to remember? So push is end of array. Pop is, wait, add to end of array. Pop is remove from end of array. Shift is add to beginning of, no, add, remove from beginning of array. So unshift is add to beginning of array. Shouldn't it be freaking unpush? Because if shift is remove from beginning and unshift is add, and add is push, shouldn't the beginning of the array be unpush? Oh, logic! I don't get it. Who named this? I would have just had freaking add, and then you decide the nth position where you want to add it. So I have a function called .add last or first or nth. Maybe this. We're still learning. But that's just confusing. I need to remember unshift is add to the beginning. Shift is remove from the beginning. So add and remove, beginning and end. Shift and unshift. Okay, I understand that logic because they both add and remove. But push, add to end of array, pop, remove. Push and pop, shift and unshift. Those are the two. Okay. So add Paul35 to the beginning of my array variable using unshift. So my array wait, hold on. I want to understand what's going on. So add Paul35. So that doesn't exist. So we first need to add the array 35. Cool. So we got that to the beginning of the my array. So my array dot unshift Paul35. I have to Google this every time, can never really remember what does what. Yeah, Christopher, I guess the easy way is just remember them in sets. Pop and push, and shift and unshift. That's the only way I could see it. And that makes sense. So shift removes the first item, unshift. Yeah, the naming doesn't make sense, but I get it. So my array.unshift, as in my array.add to the beginning of my array, this array. I feel they messed up a little bit there. JavaScript shopping list. Hey! Create a shopping list in the variable myList. The list should be a multi-dimensional array containing several subarrays. The first element in each subarray should contain a string with the name of the item. The second element should be a number representing the quantity. This is kind of like a SQL database, isn't it? Like tables. You got different columns. That's what arrays basically are, huh? Okay, so eggs. Wait, multi-dimensional. Item 1. Quantity. 15 eggs. What else do you guys want in the shopping list? Quick. You should not think of arrays as database tables. Okay, how so? Due to the fact that you can't have columns in databases, or? I mean, at least on the basic level. Before they go multi-dimensional, they act kind of the same. Pairs. Isn't there keys? What are those keys in JavaScript that I remember? You have a pair. This is paired with that. This is paired with that. I think you learn it somewhere down the line in this. Chips, grapes, chickens, and bricks. Why are you buying bricks from the store? You want chips? Sheesh, you have quite the fetish here. I will add your list. Do you want anything from the shops, Christopher's? I'll buy you 1 pack of chips. I'll buy you 2 single grapes. You can have 10 chickens. And 24 bricks. Actually 64 bricks, because you know that's a stack in Minecraft. So Christopher's last chance. Anything from the shops before I head off to the shops? This is not how they want it. 64 bricks, right? You have a full stack. Why is it not how they want it? Is it not the first one is the list of items, second one is a quantity? Wait, let me read again. The first element in each sub-array. The second element should be a... Oh. So eggs 15. What the... Eggs 15 like that. Oh. I'm still waiting for your order, Christopher's. Bricks. I want potato-y. You will have potato-y, my dear friend. Let me get you some potato-y. And you will have 2.5 potato-y. Feeling generous. How's that? That sound good to you? The frick? Unexpected token at line 93. I don't... Okay, hold on. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's not correct. There we go. 2.5 isn't an integer. Do they want an integer? Did they specify? It is a number. Take it. See, don't argue with me. 2.5 is a number. He can have 2.5 potato-y. Well, they can just... They can do whatever they want with that. I don't care about them. Write reusable JavaScript with functions. Yes! I love functions. In JavaScript, we can divide up our code into reusable parts called functions. Oh god, and then someone tried to explain to me what methods were in C, and they just lost me, because there's methods, and then there's private, and there's public, and you want things to be public, and the other stuff needs to be private, and... Oh, methods are not the same as functions, but... Functions are the closest things to methods in C# compared to JavaScript, if I remember correctly. I may be mistaken. Anyway, you can call it or invoke this function by using its name followed by parentheses, like this. Each time the function is called, it will print out the message "Hello World" on the dev console. All of the code between the curly braces will be executed every time the function is called. Method is basically, sorry to burst your bubble, but private and public stuff is in JavaScript too. It is, isn't it? When you declare var, just like that, you declare it as global, don't you? So everything has access to it. So you have scopes as well in JavaScript, right? Method is basically a function of a class. Now, I might get lost somewhere, but I do remember prototyping, which was really cool and powerful. I used it in my game that I showed you guys earlier. I created a prototype of type building, and then all I need to do was fill in the different stuff of like how much the building costs and what the building name is and stuff, which was really amazing. So you give it a prototype and everything inherits that. But functions of a class, I don't understand that. You have a class that belongs to a function. I don't want to confuse it with classes in like CSS, where an ID would be the parent and you would have classes attached to the parent. You'll learn about class when you learn about OOP. Okay, let's not worry about it for now then. Create a function called reusable function. That's why I'm really glad I have you guys, especially Christopher, is like having knowledge in C# before, which is really useful. Create a function called reusable function. No, not our. Just reusable. Okay, which prints hi world. So console.log hi world. Does it have to say hi world? Why? What's wrong? What? Unexpected token. What? What token? Reusable. Oh, I didn't call function. I was calling the function without defining the function. Should output hi world. Oh, you guys. I will still get my way, one way or the other. You didn't say anything about not being able to do this. I should call it, shouldn't I? Hi chat! Got him. Imagine they actually stored your answers like they did in Code Academy. That would be something to go back on. Passing values to functions with arguments. Parameters are variables that act... Okay, now I'm gonna need to get this right once and for all. Clearly you guys have experience. Maybe I shouldn't be asking you guys because you're just random people on the internet that might troll me. But I never understood the difference between arguments and parameters, because they get used interchangeably. Generally, I believe it's called arguments, especially from the PHP days where you would pass through whatever it is and it would be listed as an argument. Parameters, on the other hand, from what I remember, the parameters is inside the function that you use, right? Whereas the argument is what you pass in when you call it. So when I go my function and I call it, this is argument, no, this is parameter 1, parameter 2, right? Whereas when you define function, my function, is this argument 1, argument 2? Was that it? Argument is when you call the function. Oh, so it's the other way around. So arg1, arg2, param1, param2. Okay, so I was kind of close, just the other way around. I just want to make sure I get that, because I always confuse the two. Even though I understand what they do. So parameter, you define the parameters. So like the scope of what it's going to do, what it will take. They are quite interchangeable. I just thought there would be like a general best practice for that. Okay. But for technicality's sake, it's parameter when you're defining the function, and it's argument when you're calling the function. Cool. Okay, here's a function with two parameters, param1. Oh, and they even specify if I just bothered reading. Oh, facepalm. So hard right now. It's like right here. Parameters are variables that act as placeholders for the values that are to be input into a function when it is called. When a function is defined, it is typically defined along with one or more parameters. Why bother reading? Right? I just want to get to building. I know, I shouldn't get carried away. I feel like I know a lot of this because I did spend 2 years doing some advanced stuff. But I know I shouldn't get carried away and I should just do the basics, because I'm probably going to struggle somewhere down the line. Like, this is easy and understandable, but I should still read it. The actual values that are input or passed into a function when it is called are known as arguments. Here's a function with 2 parameters, param1, param2, like literally what I wrote. Oh, function, test fun, param1, param2. But console.log, param1, param2, okay. Fair enough. Then we call test fun. Test fun hello world. We're passed 2 arguments, hello and world. Inside the function, param1 will equal hello and param2 will equal world. Note that you could call test fun again with different arguments, and the parameters would take on the value of the new arguments. Create a function called function with arguments. So function with args. That accepts 2 arguments, so there's also one thing I wanted to know. When you define functions, they're placeholders. Will these ever clash inside another function? Let's say A was called parameter1 and this one is also parameter1. Am I right in assuming this is local? As in, it's only accessible within this function, correct? So I can have parameter1, I can have parameter1 there, they're not going to clash. I mean, it's obvious, I just want to make sure. That accepts 2 arguments and outputs their sum to the dev console. So we could do x and y in this case. And then we're going to do console.log, accepts 2 arguments and outputs their sum to the dev console. So x, y. Call the function with 2 numbers as arguments. Now here's the confusing part, and maybe you guys can explain this to me. I am used to explicitly defining the type of a variable. So normally for this requirement I would do int x and int y. Now JavaScript doesn't do that. It uses kind of like smart, it like figures out what the variable is, but are there any instances where it like can royally mess that up? Because I mean, I don't know how to feel about a system just randomly deciding that this variable is of a type this. Can you cast types in JavaScript? So like x as boolean, for example, or x as float. Oh, but float doesn't even exist, does it? Because you can't do int or float. Can I confuse you? Go for it. I'm already confused. And while you do that, I'm going to call function with args. I'm going to pass it 2, 6, and we are going to run the tests. 1 and 2 should output 3. Wait, holy shit, when did I make this actually add 2 numbers up? I didn't go x plus y? How does that work? Console.log. X and Y, did it just randomly combine them? How did it know? But it's obviously not going to multiply. If I wanted it to multiply, I'd have to do console.log x times y. Then I'll get 5. Okay, wait, what? 5. 2 times 6 is 12. Yeah, that's correct. 5 is there. Okay. What did you say? You can type of x equal to number, but you can't type of x equal to array. Wait, all strings are arrays. Okay, all strings. Okay, but we're talking about strings now, not booleans, not numbers, just strings. All strings are arrays. You can't type of x equal to array for some reason, but you can type of x equal to string. So you could convert, obviously, an integer into a string to then, yeah, output it. So boolean. So if a boolean house true, and you said type of string, would it literally just say true? Just know this, types in JavaScript are so ridiculous. People made a JavaScript library so they don't have to deal with it, called TypeScript. Okay. I guess that's what... Was it you or someone else that brought up I should check out TypeScript? Let's Google it really quickly so that I can see JavaScript that scales. Class, greeting, string. Ooh, is this where you specify what it is? It's a string. Constructor, message string, this.greeting. Is this all JavaScript, or is this like... How much of this is TypeScript? Greet, that's the function. Return hello plus this.greeting. Let greeter, new greeting word, let button, documented. That's TypeScript. So this is a JavaScript. Wait, is this a comparison? So these two, wait, so is the one on the right how you would do it in pure JavaScript from the looks of it? So I can see the comparison now. So you do class instead of variable. I'm assuming this is kind of like C, right? Where you define a class and then you give it a name, greeting, and then the type is string. So this would be int, for example, int 16 or whatever. No ways. So if I did int 16 or int 32 array, how is it going to transpose it? Do I have an error now? You have arrays and lists? What the... I'm gonna royally mess this up, aren't I? This TypeScript looks pretty similar to ES6, which is also something we're gonna be doing next. Should probably get back to vanilla JavaScript, yeah. So instead of function you have class. I'm assuming this is what C looks like, because I remember there would be classes, and I remember this specifically. That's the name, and that's the type of the variable that you're creating. So function greeter, this dot greeting is message, greeter prototype dot greet function. Wait, so every time that I've seen let, is that ES6? Because I've seen people use let a lot, or is that TypeScript? Because I never saw it in vanilla JavaScript. Hey Morphbreed, how's it going? So yes to ES6. Let and const is ES6. Okay, so that's pretty new, because from last I remember, at least like back in 2012, 2013, I think you didn't have it, right? Or maybe you did. But that's cool. So let is ES6, so it's not specific to TypeScript. So what does let do? Let is kind of, you're almost creating a variable. Let greeter equal to new greeter. So instead of creating a variable, you're using let. Interesting. Var button is let button. Why? Can someone give me a quick rundown of why you would use let over variable? Because from what I could tell, is it just because you don't want it to be global? Because it's global then? You learned this in the ES6 section. Okay, then I'll stop asking the questions and I look forward to seeing it. Whoa, there's inheritance? Oh fuck, that is... wow. So this is kind of like, holy shit, look how simple it made it from here to this. They really showcasing here, huh? Wow. Now the thing is, I'm a firm believer that you should know how it works in its base form before you use something that simplifies it for you. I may be wrong, but I mean, damn. If that is the short form of that, that's crazy. And I love that because you don't have extends in JavaScript. Or do you? No, they had to make kind of like a... I'm not even going to bother trying to understand that. I know what's going on because I do that in... over here. Pretty much anyway. So even my event handler, you take the script and it extends another script so that you can basically then, it becomes a child of the parent, and then you can manipulate the parent variables that are on it. So I'm assuming that's the same, where you have something that is attached to that script, let's say an object in this case because it's object orientated, then you can say parent's hair equal to this. I think that's pretty much what's happening. Anyway, back to this. Wow. That's crazy. I need to look at TypeScript at some point. Thanks, guys. Anyway, we're done here. That's it. That should just work. Wait, what did you want me to do? Create a function called function that accepts two arguments and outputs their sum to the dev console. Call the function with two numbers as an argument. I did. Function xy console.log xy. You asked me to put two numbers in. Function args 2 should input 3. Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't. Oh, never mind. You actually needed to do. That makes sense now. Sorry. I was wondering how it was going to do that. There we go. Yeah, that's called oop. I love that. So can you guys help me understand something then? Over here, this is my script for my little game that I had. And don't judge me because this was when I basically knew nothing. I did function, resource building, and it takes 4 parameters. The name of the building, the base cost for the building, how long it takes to build, and the income rate of the building. Then, if I'm not mistaken, when you use the this keyword, is that how you start prototyping? So this.name, what does the this imply when you call it? So when I say res building, this, as in when I pass parameter name and I call it, let's say, mine, it's going to be this.name, that's its name, so mine, this.level, this.base cost. I'm trying to figure out how that worked. Have fun, this. In a method, this refers to the owner. Okay, so when they say method, what is methods in JavaScript? Or am I going to learn that later? I know what a function is. I didn't know that JavaScript has methods too. If you make var foo equal to new res building, I think I do that by the way, morph breed. Right at the bottom, every time when you click. There, this is what I do. So res, because I have 4 buildings, 4 building types. I go res b0 is new res building, then I give it the name, I give it the values that it needs. Can you scroll up to the function? Yeah, sure. It's quite a long function. There it is. Zoom in for you a bit. You know what? Hold on. Shame. You shouldn't have to struggle. This is it. That's the function you look at. Sorry, will be a little bit easier to read now than the pure HTML. If you make var foo new resource building, you can get the name, for example, with foo.name. Or the level with foo.level. Okay, so down here where I said resb, that's what I call it. So it would be resb index0.name would get me the name of the building that's in the first index of our array. Because I housed all the buildings in an array. Var resb is a new array. And then I made an empty array. I assume that's what I did. I did this about maybe 2 years ago. That function is your class constructor, and with this.var equal to var, you set the attributes of the object this is constructed when you call the class constructor. Okay, right, so it's constructors, then there's a method, or at least I think I called it a method. I don't know if this is a method over here. Defining a method to handle upgrades. Is this a method? This.upgrade res building is function. And it goes all the way down to here. And what I basically check for is if you have enough resources, you can do the upgrade. And it handles error messages, which I probably should have done elsewhere, but I mean for a first attempt, I was pretty happy. All I did was check here. For I equal to 0, I less than resource length. Oh, I see what you guys mean. That's where I used this to figure out what was this. So that building. So this dot cost. So to figure out how much it costs, it's whatever is at I. So the resource at index, let's say 0, is equal to resource at index 0 minus this dot cost. I could have probably literally done, if I update this, res minus equal to this dot cost. We're already getting better at writing our code. And this was a confusing part where I did a bind. When I had to set the timeout so that you can't build again on the button. The class is like a blueprint, and with the constructor you make an object instance of that blueprint. Right, so I needed empty buildings and then I pass on its names and its values and all that. Alright, thanks for that explanation, guys. I really appreciate it. I built this, but I didn't understand. I just knew that's what I needed to do. I didn't understand. I knew there was a prototype because, I mean, that's why I wrote it. Oh, I did know it was a constructor at one point. I said defining a new constructor, a class. Is it a class? For resource buildings. You can omit a parameter when defining the constructor, but include it below as a property to give it a static value. Ah, past me knew more. Defining a method, more or less. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Cool. Let's close that off, and let me close that, and let me bring the browser back. In JS, you don't have real classes, right? That's why we use TypeScript that has classes, right? Okay, let me see how far I am from here, because I have to wrap things up for tonight. But I would like to end on a section where we still on basic JavaScript. Global scope and functions, that should be near the end. And I also want to take as much as I can in, but being... yeah, it's quite late now. Global scope and functions. Oh, we're not even like, geez. There's a lot, way more than HTML and CSS. Way more. We're like not even halfway, I'd say like 35-40% done. So I'll do global. I want to actually get this in, so I'm going to end it off for here, because global scopes and functions are something I did struggle in with before. I know that when you say variable, var, it's a global variable, and anything can access it, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave this for tomorrow, so I can actually take that in, because that's going to be very important, because I've never used local scopes before. In year 6 you have flashbacks to COBOL. COBOL? What is COBOL? Is that like a language? Computer programming language. English like computer programming language designed for business use. It's imperative, procedural. What? So you can like design Minecraft worlds? It acts like a class, but it's only syntactic sugar. Okay. Interesting stuff, guys. Well, I appreciate all of that. You guys have been incredibly insightful, way more than just, you know, chugging along through this. I feel I've learned quite a bit from you guys. You've explained things well. I feel like I've taken quite a bit in. I also feel that the past 2 years that I've been modding in that language did help somewhat, at least to understand and grasp the basics when it comes to programming. And thankfully, because it was an object-oriented programming, because you would directly interface with the game, I feel I'm going to be way more prepared for JavaScript, at least for the OOP side of things. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to end things off here for now, and I'm going to pick things up tomorrow morning early, spend the entire day going through this. It's going to be really exciting. Thank you to all of you that dropped by, especially the new people. Rayaz, it was really great to see you. I really enjoyed the banter, as well as the comments and all the new things that you've taught, as well as Morphbreed. Really great seeing you for the first time. I don't know if you've been here before, maybe lurked. I appreciate the explanations, especially with my previous bit of scripting, and everyone else that popped by, especially the lurkers. You guys are awesome. And Christopher, as always, you've been here from the start, helping me with the basics of HTML and CSS, and now here we are in JavaScript, and yet you're still here. It's like, does your knowledge not know any bounds? I guess we'll find out in due time. But I hope you guys have an incredible day, evening, whatever it is, wherever you guys are further. It's almost midnight for me, 11:24. I've got to head off. Looking forward to tomorrow. So goodbye for now, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.